Picture this. You are miles deep into the backcountry, completely cut off from the rest of the world. The sunlight is bleeding out of the sky. Your gear is soaked to the bone, and your lungs are burning from humping it over dead timber all day long. Then, the buck you have spent 3 years chasing steps out of the brush at 300 yards. In that split second, with your adrenaline spiking and your heart trying to punch through your ribcage, you do not care about some glossy magazine ad. You do not care what some internet personality was pushing last week. The only thing that matters in that freezing, high-stakes vacuum is absolute, uncompromising mechanical certainty. You need to know that when you break that trigger, that projectile is going exactly where your reticle says it will. Missing out there is not just a bruised ego. It means eating tag soup, packing up your expensive camp, and walking back to the truck with absolutely nothing to show for your time and hard-earned money. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I have spent a lifetime on the range and in the woods, running weapon systems until they fail so you do not have to. Today, we are stripping away the industry fluff and taking a hard, tactical look at the top 10 most rugged, field-proven hunting rifles dominating the landscape in 2026. We are judging these actions from number 10 all the way to the crown jewel. We are talking receiver rigidity, severe weather reliability, barrel harmonics, and undeniable terminal ballistics. This is a shooter-to-shooter breakdown of the hardware that actually survives when Mother Nature turns the dial up to 10. If you are tired of the hype and want straight ballistic truth from a guy who actually runs these guns, grab a cup of coffee and let us get into the steel. Number 10. Ruger American Rifle. Coming in hot at the number 10 spot is the rig that absolutely embarrassed the high-end hunting market. I am talking about the Ruger American. For decades, people thought if you did not spend a small fortune, you were getting sloppy tolerances. Ruger took that myth, threw it in the trash, and built a working-class hero. They engineered this brilliantly simple V-block bedding system molded right into the stock. It locks the receiver down incredibly tight, floating that cold hammer-forged barrel completely free of the forend. That means your barrel harmonics stay dead consistent, round after round. Instead of a clunky old 2-lug bolt, they gave us a fat 3-lug bolt body. That translates to a short, fast throw that keeps your knuckles from busting against your scope bell when you are racking it in a hurry. And the factory trigger on this thing? It uses a bladed safety shoe that breaks way cleaner than it has any right to for the money. I have personally banged one of these around in the bed of my truck for a whole season, and it still stacks rounds right on top of each other at 200 yards. Barrel configurations. Usually clocking in around 22 inches. Trigger mechanism. Factory adjustable bladed setup. Primary chamberings. 243 Winchester, 308 Winchester, and 6.5 Creedmoor. Market value. Sitting right in that sweet spot of $450 to $650. Number 9. Remington 700. Sliding into the number 9 position is the undisputed granddaddy of American precision. The Remington 700 Special Purpose Synthetic. If you are the kind of shooter who wants a rifle that evolves right alongside your skill level, this is your baseline. The tubular steel receiver and that beefy recoil lug create a foundation that is stiff as a crowbar. There is a reason military snipers and police marksmen have trusted their lives to this exact footprint for generations. With the Special Purpose Synthetic model, you get a rugged, matte finish and a polymer stock that literally laughs at freezing rain and heavy abuse in the brush. But the real magic here is the aftermarket support. It is bigger than the muscle car industry. Down the road, you can drop this action into an aluminum chassis and upgrade the trigger on your workbench with zero gunsmithing required. Hunters keep coming back to the 700 because that heavy bolt handle and the deep bolt face give you a lockup that inspires total confidence when you are chambering heavy magnum rounds. It is a tactical canvas you can build on for the rest of your life. Barrel configurations. Ranging from 22 up to 24 inches. Trigger mechanism. Externally adjustable factory unit. Primary chamberings. 308 Winchester, 3006 Springfield, and the heavy magnums. Market value. Running you roughly $600 to $800. Number 8. HOWA 1500. Taking control of the 8th spot is the brutally tough HOWA 1500. Built with extreme Japanese metallurgical precision, This action is a masterclass in forged steel. A lot of budget guns cut corners with cast parts or bolt heads pinned into place. Not HOWA. They run a single-piece forged bolt and an integral recoil lug, making the whole system practically indestructible. When you close the bolt on a 1500, it feels like slamming the vault door at a bank. It is just tight, positive, and incredibly secure. They run a proprietary two-stage trigger that gives you a very deliberate take-up. You hit that solid wall, apply pressure, and it snaps with a crisp, inherently safe break. This rifle is not trying to win a beauty contest. It is built to hold an aggressive zero when you are crawling through abrasive dirt or getting hammered by sleet. When I am miles from the truck and cannot afford a mechanical failure, this kind of overbuilt engineering is the best insurance policy you can carry. Trigger mechanism. Two-stage precision factory system. Primary chamberings, covering everything from 243 Winchester all the way to 300 Winchester Magnum. Stock options. Standard polymer, traditional walnut, or high-end precision chassis. Market value. Expect to hand over between $650 and $900.
Number 7. Savage Model 110. Locking down number 7 is the highly adaptable Savage Model 110. Savage figured out something a lot of companies ignore. Human geometry heavily dictates downrange accuracy. They solve the fitment issue by giving you complete control over the stock architecture. With their modular system, you can swap comb heights to get your eye perfectly aligned behind your glass, and adjust the length of pull to match that heavy winter jacket you are wearing. When your cheek welds to the exact same spot every single time, finding your reticle becomes rapid muscle memory. Inside the action, Savage runs their famous floating bolt head. When you push a round into battery, that bolt head automatically squares itself up with the barrel, giving you perfect cartridge concentricity. Combine that mechanical brilliance with their bladed target trigger, and you are shooting custom shop groups out of a factory box. Whether you are hunting thick timber out east or stretching its legs across a canyon in the Rockies, this rig adapts to you, not the other way around. Stock integration. Fully modular system for custom cheek and shoulder fit. Trigger mechanism. User-adjustable bladed target trigger. Primary chamberings. A massive catalog from 243 Winchester up to the bone-crushing Magnums. Market value. Sitting comfortably between $700 and $1,100. Number 6. BERGARA B14. Stepping into the number 6 slot is the mechanically flawless BERGARA B14. Let me put it to you this way. When you buy this gun, you are paying for a world-class, match-grade barrel, and they are essentially throwing the rest of the rifle in for free. BERGARA built their reputation drilling and button rifling tubes for elite custom shops. They use that exact same proprietary honing process on these production guns. The action takes heavy cues from classic American footprints, but BERGARA smoothed out the geometry. They gave it a slicker bolt body and a massive sliding plate extractor that grabs brass with real authority. Racking this bolt feels like sliding wet ice across glass. There is zero binding and absolutely zero zipper friction. You do not need to bed the stock, you do not need to crown the muzzle, and you do not need to mess with the trigger. It is engineered to print tight little clovers on your paper right out of the gate. For the guy who wants a custom-grade tactile feel without taking out a second mortgage, this is your answer. Barrel technology. Deep hole-drilled and precision-honed proprietary steel. Action design. Incredibly fluid twin-lug bolt system. Primary chamberings. Heavily focused on 6.5 Creedmoor and 308 Winchester. Market value. Hanging right between $900 and $1,100. Number 5. Winchester Model 70. Commanding the number 5 position is the undisputed king of American firearms history, the Winchester Model 70. This is not just another hunting tool. This is a life-saving piece of machinery when you are staring down dangerous game. The soul of this rifle is that legendary controlled round feed action. It uses a giant non-rotating claw extractor that locks onto the rim of the cartridge the split second it strips from the magazine. You can be laying on your back, hanging upside down, or short-stroking the bolt under pure adrenaline-fueled panic,
and this gun will forcefully feed and eject. It absolutely refuses to double feed. Winchester has tightened up their modern manufacturing, bedding the action solidly into the stock and dropping in a fully enclosed trigger housing that snaps like a glass rod. I have run vintage Model 70s and the new production models, and they both deliver that surgical accuracy and brute force reliability that conquered the African plains decades ago. This is an heirloom quality weapon. You buy it, you trust your life to it, and one day you hand it down to the next generation of shooters. Action design, massive claw extractor utilizing controlled round feed, trigger mechanism, fully enclosed precision-machined housing, primary chamberings, 270 Winchester, 3006 Springfield, and 300 Winchester Magnum. Market value, running anywhere from $900 to $1,300. Number 4. Weatherby Vanguard Series 2. Punching in at number 4 is the laser-flat Weatherby Vanguard Series 2. Weatherby completely eliminates the gamble of buying a new rifle. They actually guarantee the ballistic performance in writing before you even hand over your credit card. Every single Vanguard has to shoot a sub-minute of angle 3-shot group at 100 yards with premium ammo, or it gets sent back to the armorer. Period. The backbone of that consistency is a cold hammer-forged barrel mated to a fluted bolt body. That bolt features 3 pressure relief ports, so if you ever have a catastrophic case rupture, the high-pressure gas vents safely away from the shooter. They upgraded it with a match-quality 2-stage trigger that lets you prep the shot perfectly. When you are glassing a massive bean field or waiting for the crosswind to die down in a valley, you can stage that trigger and break the shot exactly when the window opens. If your hunting environment demands extreme-range ballistics, this rifle gives you the mechanical confidence to drop heavy targets in their tracks. Performance metric. Factory-certified sub-minute of angle guarantee. Trigger mechanism. Match-grade 2-stage system. Primary chamberings. Standard hunting calibers and their ultra-fast proprietary magnums. Market value. Landing between $700 and $950. Number 3. Christensen Arms MESA. Breaking into the top 3 is the high-tech Christensen Arms MESA. This company essentially dragged aerospace engineering onto the hunting trail. They built a platform that shaves off every unnecessary ounce of weight without giving up an inch of barrel rigidity. They aggressively skeletonize the bolt handle, flute the bolt body, and wrap it all in advanced carbon fiber composite stocks. When you are humping up a steep mountain grade at 10,000 feet, this rifle basically floats on your shoulder. But the real game changer is their frictionless trigger technology. They use internal rollers to completely eliminate sear drag. When your lungs are burning from the altitude and your crosshairs are dancing, that zero-creep, glass-smooth break keeps you from pulling your shot off the vitals. This is a hardcore expedition-grade tool. It is built specifically for the extreme backcountry athlete who counts every single ounce in their pack, but absolutely requires magnum-level stopping power. Overall weight, ultra-light, tipping the scales between 6.5 and 7.5 pounds. Trigger mechanism, frictionless roller sear technology. Materials integration, offered in fluted stainless or carbon fiber-wrapped barrel profiles. Market value, commands a premium, usually $1,150 to $1,450. Number 2. Browning X-Bolt, Hell's Canyon Speed. Taking the silver medal is the highly aggressive Browning X-Bolt Hell's Canyon Speed. This rig is the absolute pinnacle of modern production rifles, blending tactical durability with match-grade tightness. They encapsulate the entire barreled action in a baked-on ceramic coating. Salt spray, acidic swamp mud, freezing rain. This gun just shrugs it all off. Browning runs an ultra-fast 60-degree bolt throw. That means you can cycle the action dramatically faster than a standard 90-degree bolt, and your knuckles stay completely clear of your low-mounted optics. They feed the chamber using a proprietary rotary magazine that lines the cartridge up dead center with the bore. You get a flawlessly smooth feed ramp sequence every single time you run the bolt. Shouldering this rifle feels like getting behind the wheel of a tuned-up race car. It is aggressively fluted to dump barrel heat, styled to look mean, and built to perform dynamically under massive stress. It is the perfect bridge between a rugged mountain gun and a highly refined sniper platform. Surface treatment. Baked-on ceramic coating for maximum corrosion defense. Trigger mechanism. Factory-polished, lightweight single-stage pull. Action design. Extremely fast 60-degree bolt lift. Market value. Running a heavier price tag from $1,700 to $2,100. Number 1. Tikka T3x Lite. Standing totally uncontested at the absolute top of the mountain for 2026 is the legendary Tikka T3x Lite. You go ask any high-volume Alaskan guide or professional backcountry outfitter what they trust when their livelihood is on the line. They point to this rifle. Tikka engineered the receiver with a minimized ejection port. That simple structural change drastically stiffens the steel cylinder, killing the flex in the action when the weapon fires. Because these are built in the exact same facility as world-class military sniper rifles, that cold hammer-forged barrel will constantly outshoot custom rigs that cost 3 times as much. The bolt cycle is famously smooth. I am talking one-finger smooth. You can keep your eye glued to the scope and your cheek welded to the stock while you rapidly cycle follow-up shots without ever binding up. It balances perfectly, ignores the weather, and runs flawlessly whether it is 110 degrees in the Badlands or -20 in the high timber. When your hunt goes completely sideways and you only have 2 seconds to make a highly complex ethical shot, the Tikka T3x Lite is the most reliable, surgically accurate tool you can put against your shoulder. Action design. Enclosed, rigid receiver with a notoriously slick twin-lug bolt. Trigger mechanism. Phenomenally crisp, easily adjustable single-stage unit. Performance metric. 3-shot sub-minute of angle factory guarantee. Market value. An absolute steal ranging from $850 to $1,100. All right, that wraps up our heavily vetted 2026 deployment list. These are 10 uncompromising, field-hardened weapon systems built specifically to put meat in your freezer and heavy racks on your wall when failure is simply not an option. Now, I want to hear directly from you guys out there on the firing line. If you were stepping off the pavement tomorrow and heading deep into bear country, which one of these rigs are you trusting your season to? Are you rolling with the high-tech precision of the BERGARA, or are you a die-hard believer in that classic Winchester-controlled round feed? Drop your rifle selection and your go-to hunting caliber down in the comments section right now. If you appreciated this tactical breakdown and want to see more hardcore, uncompromised gear analysis, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment so we can keep pushing back against the algorithm. Stay alert, keep your powder dry, and I will see you on the range next time.